Hello fans of Defender Sports, hope you're enjoying the game whether you're a friend or family member of a player or coach or a fan of the university. These players and coaches have put in hours and hours of practice and it shows. But going into each and every game, there's one more thing that every coach makes sure the team has, and that's a game plan. If these players and coaches are willing to put this much time into planning for a game, how much more important is putting together a game plan for your financial life? Now, the financial world continually becomes more complicated, but if you don't have either the time or the desire to spend hours upon hours learning and keeping up with the changing rules of the game in the financial world, and then figuring out how that applies specifically to your financial life, you don't have to do it alone. For over 40 years, we've been helping households to build their financial game plan upon all the things more important than finances, while being good stewards of the resources God has entrusted to their care. Because there's things in life more important than money, and none of them are things. I'm Tom DeYoung, financial planner and president of Money Concepts, the planning firm. Check us out on the web or social media. Check out our podcast at moneyconceptsradio.com or your favorite podcast app, or schedule a complimentary meeting to see how a financial game plan might benefit you. Enjoy the rest of the game and remember to spend your most valuable resources, your time and your attention, on the things in life that matter more than money.
You don't just want to pick a college because you think it's just going to be comfortable. But you also have to be in a place that there are people that are going to surround you and love you and be on the same page. If you can find that place that stands out and they stand for something and they stand behind that something, that's what we fell in love with Dordt University, and we're just so thankful that our kids have seen that.
Find a place that honors God and inspires your kid. And I think Dordt does both of those things.
Good afternoon from Open Space Park in Sioux Center, Iowa, as we get ready for Great Plains Athletic Conference baseball between the Dordt Defenders and the Northwestern Red Raiders. The Dordt Defenders enter play today with a 16-26 overall mark, 4-20 in the Great Plains Athletic Conference, while the Northwestern Red Raiders, 19-25 overall, 12-12 in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. For the Defenders at this point, playing for pride, they were mathematically eliminated from GPAC postseason playoff contention with a couple of losses to Mount Marty on Monday, coupled with the other final results from last weekend and earlier this week. For Northwestern, they're keyed up for making the 8-team postseason field, and they're looking to close the year with on an upswing. This is the Wireless World pregame show. Glad to have you along with me on the Dordt Media Network. The Dordt Defenders coming off a pair of Well, difficult losses. They lost to Mount Marty 5-4 in a pair of games on Monday, and they were right there with the Mount Marty Lancers, a team that are right in the middle of the league and actually challenging for the conference championship not that long ago, but have tailed off a little bit. That loss, they suffered a couple of losses to Jamestown last week, and that really took them out of the hunt, and things have really separated with three teams in looking for the Great Plains Athletic Conference regular season championship. The Dordt Defenders, I believe, first time this year I have seen them in their yellow tops with white pants. They've got the black belts to go along with it. For Northwestern, they are going with their predominantly red jerseys, the red tops, white with red pinstripes on the pants, and ripped into left center field and off of the base of the fence. That's Sam Stanford, and Stanford is in standing up with a leadoff double, and Northwestern puts the pressure on immediately with Stanford ripping one off of Diego Benitez into left center field, right in between the light standards in left center, and right into the teeth of the wind, blowing in out of the the northwest. Wind is blowing in. Evan Olson will be the batter. So Olson batting for Northwestern, and Stanford gets his lead over at second base. Diego Benitez is a senior. He'll be recognized tomorrow as part of Senior Day. He's a senior from Panama. Evan Olson, a .295 batting average, so a little bit of trouble already for Diego to try and work around. First pitch, a ball, 1-0 the count. Pitch misses up high and away, ball 2-0 the count. 2-0 the count. Kip Cullinan is in the on-deck circle for Northwestern. Noah Vogel will bat fourth in the inning. From the stretches, Diego. Here's the pitch. This one's fouled off and out of play, and the count goes to 2-1. Defensively for Dordt, Juan Sanchez is the catcher, and he really has been the beast of burden, if you will, behind the plate for the defenders. He has caught the majority of the games for Dordt this season. Swung on in a line drive past Jason Carrig into left field, scooped up by Logan Harris, gets it back into the infield, hits the cutoff man. Runners stay at the corners. So Evan Olson with a clean single to left field, and that brings Kip Cullinan to the plate. So there's your pitcher-catcher battery for the defenders, Benitez and Sanchez. Third to first, it's Hogestegger, Carrig, DeVries, and Oreskes. And the outfield has Harris, that's Logan Harris, Caden Davis, and Nolan Christensen left to right. The designated hitter for Dordt today, Dylan Stanley. Here's the pitch to Cullinan. Nope, throw over to first base, not in time. Cullinan, the first baseman, batting .319 this season. Cullinan, a little bit of pop in his bat. 6 homers, 30 RBI for the left-handed batter. Wind is blowing in here at Open Space Park. And judging by the early results, Sam Stanford really tagged one to left center field, and that ended up bouncing off of the warning track. First pitch is in for a ball, 0-1 the count to Cullinan. Nobody out. Dordt looking for a double play ball. Throw over to first base, not in time. Benitez with the throw over and had some intent behind that. Little bit of mustard, 0-1 the count with nobody out. Last weekend of the regular season for Dordt baseball. Throw over to first base, not in time. Same is true for softball. They're off today. They're still getting their legs back after traveling to Aberdeen yesterday. 0-1 pitch on the way. Swung on. This one's fouled up into the air, and that one's going to drift out of play. And the count goes to 0-2. 0-2 the count to Kip Cullinan. And I know you're saying softball going to Aberdeen on a weekday, miss all those classes. Well, yesterday is what is called assessment day on the Dordt campus, so a day where many of the students are involved in some assessments. Throw over to first base, not in time, so no classes missed yesterday. Tough time of the year to be missing a ton of classes simply because the end of the year looming. Regular classes for Dordt next week, and then tests begin a week from this Monday. Diego's pitch is upstairs. Ball 1-1-2 the count. Senior wanted that one. Number 24, Diego Benitez. Diego 1-4 this year. 33 innings pitched, 27 strikeouts for the senior. And Diego from the stretch. Here's the pitch. This one served into right field. On the run is Christensen, unable to make the grab. It's through to the gap. And in standing up with a double is Kip Cullinan, and Northwestern has started with 3 straight base hits. And Northwestern playing from in front with an RBI single by Cullinan. Cullinan with his 31st RBI of the year.
Now batting number 7, Noah Vogel.
And that is his 10th double. Sam Stanford, by the way, that was his 7th double to start the game. And Dordt trying to work out of the inning. Runners at second and third for Northwestern, leading 1-0, and on a potential powder keg here, Noah Vogel, the left fielder. 347, he's second on the team in batting average. Ground ball kicks off of Diego's glove and over to the second baseman, DeVries. He doesn't have a play. And Noah Vogel is on with an infield single. A run scores on the play. Cullinan moves up to third base, and Vogel gets an RBI. Check with our official scorekeeper to make sure he's in agreement with me. He is. And that will bring Mason Porep up to the plate. 331 batting average. So for Olson, he's got 12 RBI now on that RBI and a hit batter. And Porep hit by the pitch. That'll load the bases.
Now batting number 44, Colby Shelton.
And not the start you want if you're the Dordt defenders. 4 base hits, a hit batter. Colby Shelton coming to the plate, and Dordt still looking for the first out of the inning. 2-0 our score. Shelton, where's number 44? Shelton, a 308 batting average, 10 RBI this year. So Porep, who is hit by the pitch, actually leads the team with 37 RBI. Doesn't get a run scoring opportunity there as he was hit by the pitch. Bases loaded and potential trouble here for the defenders. 2 runs across already. And from the wind, here's the pitch. And Diego's pitch is down low. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to Colby Shelton. Here's the pitch, and a line drive right at DeVries. Doesn't have a play anywhere, so Shelton is retired on the line out to second base. 4 out, number 1. Brings Jacob Kindhart to the plate. He's the DH. So Kindhart batting .281. The lineup for Northwestern, 1 through 7, very potent. 8 and 9 batters, though. Well, they're your shortstop and your center fielders. Looks like they are in the lineup mostly because of their defensive prowess. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball lifted in the air, out left side, out of play. And the count is now 1-1. 1-1 the count. Well, if you've been following along, Dordt having a nice weekend at the Drake Relays in Des Moines. Pitches inside, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Records falling. Beg your pardon, 1-2 the count. Swung on and grounded foul, and the count is 1-2. Records falling, as I was saying, and NAI national standards being met. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit in the air center field right at Caden Davis. Davis makes the play, could score a run. Here's the throw, cut off. And the runner from third advances. So a sacrifice fly for Kindhart. Fly out to Center fielder for out number 2 gets an RBI in the process. Third run to cross for Northwestern. And the pressure remains on with Noah Vogel advancing over to third base. Buckner, the number 8 batter in the lineup for Northwestern. Talking about the Drake relays, actually, I thought one of the untouchable records in Dordt track and field was Gerald Wienia back in 1982, ran the 5K in, what was it, 16:30? That was the old record. I want to double check that. Over the course of that 3-mile or so race. I know some people like to know in relation to miles. Here's the pitch. Up high, ball 1, throw home on the double steal, and they got the runner. So the double steal gone awry. The runner from third is thrown out at home plate. And that goes second baseman back to the catcher for the out, caught stealing. And that is Vogel, who's caught stealing for the third out of the inning. So the defenders get out of the inning without any more damage being done. Northwestern did get 3 runs across, though. Northwestern 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and they strand a base runner. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Due up for the defenders, it'll be Harris, Christensen, Sanchez, 1, 2, 3, when we're back right after this 1-minute break.
We understand how complex the financial landscape can be to navigate. Our goal is to free up your hands so that you can focus on what is most important in life.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
Logan Harris, the batter, Nolan Christensen, Juan Sanchez. Dylan Stanley will bat 4th in the inning if anybody can reach. Our first game today is a 7-inning affair. The second game will be 9 innings. Harris swings and misses, strike 1. Nothing and 1 the count to Logan Harris. Brett Shelton is on the mound for Northwestern. Shelton this season, 4-5. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball just misses upstairs. Ball 1, 1-1 the count. Shelton, 53 2/3 innings pitch. That pitch is inside. For a ball, it's 2-1. Harris, he's our Australian left fielder. Very steadily, a freshman season, batting .248. That's under the glove of the third baseman. Long throw over to first base, not in time. And Logan Harris legs it out. My initial thought, probably a base hit. Third baseman had to range to his left, and he didn't even have a good shot at it. Watching that replay, thanks to the truck, the Dordt Media Network, for getting that replay up quickly, reading my mind on the scoring, wanting to get another look at that. Laying down a bunt is Christensen, and it rolls foul. Well, Christensen very nearly bunting his way on. It rolls foul down the third base line. Sam Stanford came charging in, but I don't think he was going to get Christensen. As it is, Nolan, the junior from Omaha, Nebraska, will settle back in. Wow, if Dordt can get a run or two back here, that'd be a shot in the arm. Nothing and 1 the count to Christensen, right-handed batter. Throw over to first base, not in time. Christensen batting .321. Juan Sanchez in the on-deck circle. Jason Carrig batting .319. Those are your two batters that are above 300. Christensen shows bunt, pulls back, takes a ball. It's 1-1. Christensen has been in the 200s for his batting average prior to this season. You always saw those glimpses and thought if he ever gets it figured out and catches up, and he has this season. Pitch fouled back to the netting. Strike two, 1-2 the count. 1-2 the count with nobody out. So Shelton from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's off of the end of the bat. Charging on the shortstop, Buckner, and he's unable to pick it cleanly, and Christensen is on with an infield single. So runners now at first and second for the defenders. So Dordt putting together a threat. Well, my counterpart, Stephen Carlson, the sports information director or the director of athletic communications at Northwestern, making the trip over from Orange City. Probably had to stop and rest around the 4 mile corner or so, make the final leg, but he's taken the opportunity to work the game as well from the climate-controlled confines of the press box. 1-0 the count to Sanchez. Here's the pitch, and Sanchez trying to lay it down, pushes it foul. Strike one, 1-1 the count. 1-1 the count with nobody out. Corners playing tight, especially the first baseman, Cullinan. He's a good 2 steps in front of the bag over there. Wind continuing to blow in. Sanchez showing bunt, and he lays it down, pushes it foul. First base side, though. Strike two, 1-2 the count. So Sanchez down to the count now, 1-2. See if he chokes up here. So Sanchez this season, it's been a nice pickup for the defenders. Pitches inside, ball skips away from the catcher. Runners will hold. Sanchez, 3 homers, 13 RBI. He has played in 36 of Dordt's 42 games up to this point. 2-2 pitch on the way. Shelton doesn't waste any time. Breaking ball misses upstairs, ball 3, 3-2 the count. Shelton has worked 52 2/3 innings, 53 2/3, beg your pardon. A little bit of trouble here in the first inning. Both teams putting some pressure on, and Juan Sanchez is going to get caught looking on the strike 3 call. That's strikeout number 1 for Shelton, out number 1 of the inning. And that'll bring Dylan Stanley to the plate. Sanchez thought he had worked for a base on balls, thought the pitch was inside. And he was ready to scoot over to first base. Instead, the first out of the inning brings Stanley to the plate, and that one's under the glove of the third baseman. Harris is going to take the turn at third and hold, and that, I believe, will go as an error. Charge to the third baseman, loads the bases. Sam Stanford. And that one probably, I wouldn't say completely routine, but hit right at him. So those are the challenges of the scorekeeper. You've got to determine what the hit or an error there, and that one's going to go as an error, but Dylan Stanley hits it sharply to load the bases. What's the phrase? Ordinary effort. Would you make that play with ordinary effort? And the answer in that case probably is yes. Brings Jason Carrig to the plate. 1 out in the inning. Conference on the mound breaks up. So now Shelton has to try and work his way out of a little bit of trouble. Shelton, 51 strikeouts, right at 1 per inning, give or take. First pitch misses outside, ball 1, 1-0. 380 to center field, 310 down the lines here at Open Space Parks. Going to take a pretty good poke today, though, to send it out of the yard. 1-0 the count with one out. Wind blowing in. Swung on, fouled back to the screen. Didn't miss that one by much. Strike one, 1-1 the count. Game time temperature today, 47 degrees, and it's going to be dropping as the day goes along. Tomorrow sounds like pretty good weather, but probably similar winds. Here's the pitch in there for a called strike. It's 1-2. Well, I don't want to overemphasize it, but Dordt trailing 3-0. You want a base hit here, get 1 or 2 in at least. Here's the pitch to Carrick. Breaking ball misses outside. Ball 2, 2-2. So Shelton, the right-hander, misses outside. Wind blowing in. Partly cloudy skies. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Ball 3. 3-2, and Carrick not chasing. Bottom of the first inning. Game that started straight up at 4 o'clock. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, hit the other way. That one's going to drift foul and out of play. Count remains full at 3-2. Dordt softball in action tomorrow against Concordia. Game out of second place right now. The defenders trying to work their way into second and potentially host one of those 14 double elimination tournaments. Here's the pitch. Up high, and the walk is issued. So an RBI for Carrick in the process on the base on balls. And everybody advances. Harris trots in from third. Christensen at third now. Stanley at second. And Carrick is at first. And that brings Logan DeVries to the plate with a chance to do some damage. Dordt trailing 3-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on off of the hands. Strike one. 0-1 the count. So 0-1 the count with one out. DeVries wearing number 2. He's from Pine Bush, New York. 21 RBI this season, batting .264. Was swinging a hot bat earlier this season, cooled off a little bit since. Let's see if we can get going here. 0-2 pitch on the way, and it's up high. Ball 1-2 the count. As I was saying, Dordt softball, third place right now, trying to work into second. They're a game behind Morningside, tied with Midland as well. Dordt is tied with Midland, so those two, 3 and 4 right now. DeVries swings and misses. Strike 3, out number 2 of the inning, and strikeout number 2 for Shelton. So, suffice it to say, big day for the defenders tomorrow when they host Concordia at 1 o'clock. And here's how it boils down. Dordt needs a sweep, and they need Jamestown to do them a favor and get a sweep of Morningside up in Jamestown tomorrow. Caden Davis, the batter, with the bases loaded. First pitch up high, ball 1-1 the count. Midland, the other team in the mix. They're facing Northwestern, and that game is in Orange City or Fremont tomorrow.
In Orange City.
It is in Orange City. Northwestern has wrapped up the conference championship in softball, so they are hosting for certain next week. Davis fouls it off. And the count is 1-1 to Caden Davis. Davis, .245 batting average. The senior from State Center, Iowa. 7 homers, team leader in that category. Misses up high, ball 2, 2-1. Juroreskis waits in the on-deck circle. Well, base hit here probably ties the game. Stanley will be off on contact from second base. Pitch is in for a called strike. It's 2-2. So, yeah, bottom line for Dordt softball tomorrow, need a sweep, first order of business, take care of what you can, and then hope you get a little help. 2-2 pitch on the way with 2 down. Swung on, fouled back, and out of play. Count remains 2-2. The defenders, 1 run on 2 hits thus far. 2-2 pitch, 2 down. Davis awaiting the delivery. Here's the pitch from Shelton. Swung on, fouled off and out of play, and we'll do it again. Great Plains Athletic Conference track and field. We talked track and field a little bit earlier. That's right around the corner. Next Friday and Saturday, week from today and tomorrow. Dordt will be hosting that. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Ball 3-2 to Caden Davis. Some of the longer distance running events on Friday, along with the multi-events on Friday. Then the bulk of the action on Saturday. Swung on, hit in the air softly. Center field could be trouble. Dropping and making the play is the center fielder, Drew Dykstra, on the run, calling everyone off. And Davis flies out to center for an uneventful third out. For the defenders, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They strand 3. We've played 1. Our score, Northwestern 3, Dordt 1. Back with more in a minute.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University and sponsored by Sioux Center Health Therapy, partnering with Dordt University to provide quality care to all athletes. Sioux Center Health Therapy. And today's live stream broadcast brought to you by Verhoof Automotive. Verhoof Automotive in Sioux Center is your local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, and Buick dealer. Verhoof Automotive, worth the drive from anywhere.
Family, farm, business, community. People's Bank, where values matter.
Now batting number 1, Ethan Buckner.
Ethan Buckner will bat, and he was batting when the double steal attempt by Northwestern ended the inning. Here's a dribbler, shortstop, Carrig up with it, throws over to first. Oreskes on the receiving end of it. And that is the most uneventful at-bat we have had thus far today through 7 outs now. Just a routine ground ball. Carrig scoops it up on the run, throws over to first in time. And he got a nice hop off of the grass, a true hop. First pitch in for a called strike. It's 0-1. Drew Dykstra is the batter. He's batting .215. Here's the pitch outside, and Diego Benitez. Pitch misses outside, ball 1-1 the count. We'll take a look at some GPAC standings for baseball in just a moment. It's going to be a busy weekend, and then that gets going with their postseason next week. The spring season culminating. Had golf earlier this week. Pitches swung on and missed out of play, or swung on and fouled off out of play. Strike 2, 2-2 the count. Well, Doane, they're 21-5 in baseball. Swing and a miss, strike 3 in. Benitez records his first strikeout of the day, out number 2 of the inning. Brings Sam Stanford to the plate. So Doane is in action on Sunday. They will be at Midland to conclude the season, and they're sitting at 21-5. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Concordia, 2 games behind them in the win column. They're 19-5. They've got to play 4 games, and they got their work cut out for them. Ground ball, left side, third baseman Hogestagger up with it. Throws over to first in time. And after a rocky first inning, the defenders work a 1-2-3 second. For Northwestern, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. 3 up, 3 down. To the bottom of the second we go. Oreskes, Hogestagger, and Harris due up. When we're back in a minute, we'll continue talking about GPAC baseball at that point. So the Oreskes, the batter for the defenders. So Oreskes laces one into right field and barehanded by Porep out in right field. Gets it back into the infield quickly. Saves extra bases, and he grabs that with his bare hand. Couldn't reach across his body to get it. So holds Oreskes with a long single and brings Ethan Hogestegger to the plate. So, we were talking about those standings, and with Concordia and Morningside playing each other, second place up in the air. Here's the pitch. Swung on, lifted in the air, and the wind's going to push that one out of play. So Concordia and Morningside are playing each other this weekend. Concordia is 19-5. Morningside is 18-6. The likelihood of one of those sweeping the other 4 games, not likely. You start playing out the numbers and you think, okay, 2-2. If they do that, Doan's in great shape. The Tigers, obviously, in the driver's seat. Trying to lay down the bunt is Hogestegger. Strike 2, nothing into the count. Logan Harris waits in the on-deck circle. Brett Shelton from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball is in for a called strike 3, and Hogestegger gone looking for out number 3, strikeout number 3, out number 1 of the inning. Brings Logan Harris to the plate. So Harris, the right-handed batter, 248 batting average, helped himself with a single back in the first inning. So Logan Harris will step in. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down low. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. After you get past Concordia and Morningside, you've got Mount Marty, who I alluded to earlier in the broadcast, that earlier in the season kind of looked like, hey, they might make a run and challenge for the title. This one's ripped into left field, and taking a step in was the left fielder Vogel. Chugging around second, heading for third is Oreskes, and that is a double by Harris. And he ropes that one. And Vogel took 1 or 2 steps in and then had to retreat. Really would have had a challenge to make that play anyhow, as that one is off of the fence. And brings Nolan Christensen to the plate with runners on second and third. Dordt trying to put some pressure on. 1-0 the count. Mount Marty's 17-9. Jamestown is 13-10. Northwestern 12-12. Midland 10-14 in the league. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. 1-1 the count. The cut line right now has Briarcliff in the tournament at 9-17. Hastings would be out at 6-18. Ground ball right side, fighting it off is Christensen, and then that's going to tie the game. Christensen heading for second. He's in safely with a double. And the Dordt defenders have tied it at 3-3. And the 2 RBIs for Christensen. So for Nolan, his second base hit today. And that'll bring Sanchez to the plate. Sanchez struck out looking in his last at-bat. Swung on, ground ball, sharply hit right at the second baseman. Olsen cleanly plays it, gets it over to Cullinan for the out. And Sanchez advances the runner to third. Christensen there now. And we always talk about there are a lot of ways to score a run from third base, one of them being wild pitch, pass ball. See if that comes into play here. Sanchez retired 4-3 for out number 2, and Dylan Stanley is the batter. Dylan, in his last at-bat, reached on an error. And Dylan Stanley, hey, he's part of the Dordt Media Network team, does some video work, also a little bit of play-by-play. Obviously, gets a little more challenging during the spring. Breaking ball swinging over the top of that one is Stanley. 1-1 the count. Stanley, right-handed batter. He's from Orlando, Florida. Kind of caught his break last year on spring break. Pitches in for a called strike, 1-2 the count. Actually, it was on the junior varsity roster last year heading into spring break, and the coaching staff said, hey, take your jersey with you when you go home for spring break, and we're going to play you. Got his chance and had a decent year last year. This year was red hot to start the year, well over 300 for his batting average. It's cooled off since, around 288 now. Breaking ball upstairs, ball 3-2. Jason Carrig waits in the on-deck circle. So 3-2 the count. Just goes to show you never know when your chance is going to come. Here's the breaking ball, misses away. Ball 4 and the walk is issued. So Stanley advances on the base on balls. Christensen holds at third, and Jason Carrig comes to the plate. Carrig reached on a bases loaded walk back in the first inning. Got an RBI in the process. We're tied up 3-3. The way this one started, I didn't know if we'd be back into this position, but we are. Here's the pitch. That's in for a called strike to Carrig. Carrig out of California, junior college transfer. 0-1 the count with 2 down. Bottom of the second. Can't pull the trigger. Strike one, ball 1, 1-1 the count. That one misses inside and low. And as I work the math out on those conference standings, Hastings is 6-18, so they've got 4 games remaining. Here's the pitch, swung on, bouncing ball, middle. Buckner unable to field it cleanly, and Carrig is on with the. We'll wait for the indication. Maybe we'll get a look at the replay as well. My initial response was an error, but
that was my initial response. Yeah.
We'll get another look at it. We're going to give it its due diligence. High hopper.
He's right there.
Yeah. We're going to go an error charge to Buckner. Stanley advances to second. Christensen scores, and the defenders have a 4-3 lead with Logan DeVries coming to the plate. So Carrig reaches. And everything from here on out will be an unearned run as well. So many things to think about when you're dealing with baseball. 0-2 the count to DeVries. And 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on off of the hands. Out of play. Well, I began looking at what Hastings has remaining for baseball. I beg your pardon, they've only got 2 games remaining, so they're not in a good spot. Swing and a miss, and DeVries swings over the top of it. 4 out number 3. That's strikeout number 4 for Shelton. But the defenders have rallied from a 3-0 deficit to lead 4-3 after 2 innings. We head to the top of the 3rd inning. Our score, Dordt 4, Northwestern 3. Olson, Cullinan, and Vogel due up when we're back in a minute.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
And brought to you by Furniture Mart. Find furniture, mattresses, flooring, paint, window treatments at your local Furniture Mart, family owned and located downtown Sioux Center.
Time and time again at Dordt, we've seen through all of our children now that Dordt has God-honoring excellence, that they value that in all areas. That commitment to excellence inspires your kid. That draws kids in when you have that God-honoring excellence.
We appreciate the mission of Dordt, but more importantly, what we appreciate is that we've seen the organization, the team of people at Dordt live out that mission every day and stay true to that mission.
4-3 our score. We're in the top of the third inning. Evan Olson is the batter. He singled and scored a run back in the first. Takes a strike. It's 1-1. So I was looking at those conference standings. So Hastings at 24 games. Yep, it's 26 is the full schedule. I was thinking 28 for just a moment.
It is 28.
Well, it should be 28. So we're
Jamestown's playing 26. They couldn't get a doubleheader in with Hastings.
So that'll go to winning percentages then for some of those bottom spots. Swung on, ground ball. Carrick backhands it. Long throw across the diamond and over the head of the first baseman. And he doesn't advance on the play. I'm going to go a single for Olson. Simply because, Carrick, that's a long throw and a tough play. Now, if the throw is on, he maybe gets it, but
He was a throw on the run. I'm going single.
not ordinary effort there. So we're going to go with Cullinan batting. Cullinan, first baseman. He doubled, had an RBI single in the first inning. Throw over to first base, not in time. So Dordt playing with a lead for the first time today. 4-3 in the top of the third inning. Scheduled to go 7. We're 42 minutes deep into this one. It's a day that you want to bring the long pants. Double play ball maybe. DeVries flips it over to Carrick for one. On to second, double play. Cullinan grounds into the 4-6-3 twin killing. And that takes care of the base runner Olson. And that'll bring Noah Vogel to the plate. So DeVries able to square up, flips the hips, and gets it over to Carrick at second base. The shortstop coming over, and he's able to throw on to first. And here's a ground ball through the right side for a single, and Noah Vogel on with a 2-out single. Brings Porep to the plate. 2 down in the inning.
Now batting number 3, Mason Porek.
So Porep was hit by a pitch back in the first, and the number 5 hitter in the lineup for Northwestern, he can do some damage. Second baseman DeVries shading over closer to the bag at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, left side, foul ball near the Dordt dugout. They're occupying the third base dugout today. 0-1 the count. This will be it for the defenders. These 4 games. Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike. It's 0-2. Porep was stranded at, he was part of that play to end the first inning, the double steal where the runner at home was actually thrown out. 2-4-2. Pitch misses up high. Ball 1-2 the count with 2 down. You see in the stands today, everyone's, if you brought a hat, you're wearing it. 1-2 pitch. Misses inside. Throw down to second. Got him. That is Vogel caught stealing. 2-4. Second baseman covering as Sanchez delivers a strike for the third out of the inning. And the defenders get out. 3 up, 3 down in unconventional fashion. Actually 4 up, but a couple of base hits, but nothing to show for it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. To the bottom of the third inning we go. Dordt leading 4-3. Back with more in a minute. Caden Davis coming to the plate for the defenders. Dordt leading 4-3. Caden flew out to center field in his first at bat. Here's the pitch, and Davis takes up high. Ball 1-0 the count. Well, game number 2 today. Stefan Sawtell is going to be in with play-by-play. Here's the pitch. That's in for a called strike. 1-1 the count. Elizabeth Brower will be our scorekeeper. She's done a ton of softball. We rely heavily on our student employees. Ground ball, right side. Olson up with it, throws over to Cullinan in time. Davis retired 4-3 for the first out of the inning. And the reality is we wouldn't be able to do many of the things we do without the work of our student employees. One out in the inning, and here's Oreskes. This one lifted high in the air, and the wind's going to push that one out of play. Strike 1, 0-1 the count with 1 out in the inning. Defensively for Northwestern, Shelton is on the hill. That's Brett Shelton. His brother Colby is behind the plate. Here's the pitch. Misses. Ball 1-1 the count. Third to first, Sam Stanford, Ethan Buckner, Evan Olson, and Kip Cullinan. No changes for Northwestern thus far. Outfield, Vogel, Dykstra, Porep, left to right. Swung on, driven into right field, and on his horse and unable to get to it is Porep. Taking the turn at first, heading for second and in. Standing up is Drew Oreskes with the double, his second base hit of the day. And the Dordt defenders for the runner in scoring position and 1 out in the frame. Porep giving that one a ride to the fence in right field. Brings Ethan Hogestegger to the plate. So Hogestegger struck out in his last at bat. Jamestown playing Dakota Wesleyan today. They've got 1 game in already. And in that one, that final, Jamestown beating Dakota Wesleyan in Jamestown 4-2. Pitch is down in the dirt. Ball 3-0. 3-0 the count with 1 out in the inning. And this one dribbled off of the plate, and Hogestegger takes that one off at the top of the foot. Strike 1, 3-1 the count. Hogestegger a .255 batting average. There you get a shot of Brett Shelton, the right-hander on the mound. He's been pitching from the stretch most of this game, working around base runners most of the contest. Hogestegger fouls that one back to the screen. Count goes full, 3-2. 3-2 the count with 1 out. And Shelton from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and this one's hit in the air right at the left fielder, though. Noah Vogel. Vogel doesn't even need to move. Hogestegger retired on the line out to left field for out number 2. And that'll bring Logan Harris to the plate with the runner on second base. So Dordt with a runner in scoring position, and I've watched enough of these Dordt Northwestern matchups over the years where if you've got a chance to score, you better get it done. The runs, it seems, are pretty easy in coming. We've been involved in some wild, high-scoring affairs between these two teams. 1-0 the count with 2 down. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses upstairs. Ball 2, 2-0. Bottom of the third inning. Shelton doesn't waste any time. And his brother Colby out from behind the plate. Talk things over with him. That would be an interesting dynamic. Just knowing the relationship competitively you can have with siblings. Conversation fairly short. 2-0 the count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed. Strike one, 2-1. So whatever Shelton said results in a swing and a miss by Logan Harris. Harris 2 for 2 thus far today with a single and a double and 2 runs scored. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swung on, driven in the air to left field. This one's going to go out and up into the evergreens, and a 2-run homer as Logan Harris launches one over the left field fence for 2 runs. Logan Harris with the home run, and for Logan Harris, that was a no-doubter. Home run number 4 for Harris, his 3rd run scored today. He's had 28 now for the season. And the defenders have taken a 6-3 lead. Harris launches that one up into the evergreens in left field. And here's the pitch, misses outside ball 1-0 the count. Well, that one right off of the bat, you figured it had a chance, and that was the part of the park you got to hit it to today. Here's the pitch. Swung in and a line drive, dumped into right field. Could be extra bases for Christensen. He's going to take the turn at first. Headed for second. Here's the throw from Porap. And in with the double is Nolan Christensen. His 2nd double of the day. He is also 3 for 3. And that'll bring Juan Sanchez to the plate, and Dordt leads at 6-3. Dordt has put up runs in each of the 3 innings so far. And the Dordt defenders with a 6-3 advantage, 2 down in the inning. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, in for a called strike to Sanchez. So 2 down in the inning, 0-1 pitch on the way. This is the 6th batter of the inning already. And here's the pitch. That's in for a called strike. It's 0-2. Sanchez with a strikeout and a ground out. Tried sacrificing back in the 1st inning. Ended up in an 0-2 hole. And ended up getting called out on a full count pitch that he thought was inside. Struck out looking. 1-2 the count with 2 down. Shelton trying to get out of the inning. There is activity in the Northwestern Northwestern bullpen. Olson fields it off of the hop. Throws Sanchez out at first base for out number 3. But Northwestern surrenders a couple of runs. Dordt gets 2 runs on 3 hits. Couple of doubles and a home run. The home run coming from Logan Harris. And the defenders now lead 6-3 as we go to the top of the 4th. Due up for Northwestern will be Porep, Shelton, Kindheart when we're back in a minute.
So the new generation of leadership has really benefited from the benevolency of the past leadership.
We were busy from the get-go. They knew who I was, they know my name, they know my first name, they know my parents. It's a small town community with big town amenities. We're privileged to be able to support a place like a Jimmy John's and other franchises like it.
We focus on being a multi-generational boutique to reach as many women in town here that we can. Our goal is just to be a place that can empower women and also just have like the joys of fashion and just a place in town here that brings high fashion into our small town.
Seems like everyone is looking for ways to expand. People are talking about how to grow their businesses, where to find the people to grow their businesses, and just looking to the next best thing out there, whatever their field might be, including ours.
The biggest thing is the city is always growing and investing in the future, which is great to see as a business owner because you know it's not going away anytime soon. You can really put down roots here.
6-3 our score. Dordt leading by 3. Here's the pitch to Porep. Carrig charging. Throw over to first. In time. Had to wait for the call from the umpire as Drew Oreskes had to hang on and keep his foot on the bag over at first base. Carrig charged in off the one hopper. Throw was a little bit high, but Oreskes, they said he hung on to the base long enough. 1 out in the inning. Here's the pitch. Inside corner, strike 1, 0-1 the count. Home plate umpire likes the inside corner today. Here's the pitch. That one a little bit low. Ball 1, 1-1 the count. We're in the top of the 4th. Dordt leading 6-3. Dordt scoring 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. In response to Northwestern's 3-run first inning. So far, the defenders 6 runs on 8 hits. Northwestern 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swung on and golfed up the middle for a base hit. Colby Shelton with the single. For Shelton, his first hit of the day, lined out back in the first inning, so he's 1 for 2. Jacob Kindhart will come to the plate here in the top of the 4th. And a pinch runner for Northwestern. We'll get that for you in just a moment. That courtesy runner. Throw over to first base, not in time. Well, both teams with their color rush jerseys, if you will. Bryce Click, the courtesy runner. One and 0 the count with 1 out. Stiff breeze blowing in from dead center, right out of the northwest. That's going to translate into cool temperatures tonight. Here's the pitch outside. Ball 2, 2-0. There's a promise of warmer weather next week again, though. I saw some 70s for later in the week next week. Don't want anything in the 80s or 90s. That was a little early a couple of weeks ago. Throw over to first base, not in time, especially with the Great Plains Athletic Conference track and field meet. 70s would be just fine. 2-0 the count with 1 out. I'll put my order in there now for those 2 days. Calm winds, too, if you don't mind. Here's the pitch. Ball 3, 3-0. Kindhart in his last at-bat. Sacrifice fly to center field, so he doesn't have an official plate appearance yet. That pitch misses up high. Ball 4 and the walk is issued. And for Diego Benitez, that is the first base on balls given up. Going to work himself into a little bit of trouble here. And a pinch hitter for Northwestern. It's going to be Devin Dirks batting for Buckner.
Now batting number 32, Devin Dirks.
And this, Coach Brian Weedy. You've got your shortstop, Buckner, who batting around 125. So you've got an opportunity here with runners on base. You're going to take your chance now, try to get some runs in. We talked about that earlier. This matchup, you get runs, you got to deliver when you get the chance. First pitch of ball, 1-0 the count to Dirks. The numbers for Dirks so far, Devin Dirks. 200 batting average, couple of RBI. 1-0 pitch, swung on and fouls that one off of Juan Sanchez's face mask. Back to the netting. Strike 1, 0-1. 1-1 the count now. 1-1 the count with 1 down. Benitez looks in. Right-hander gets the sign. And here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Nope, throws over to second base. Carrig trying to sneak in behind the base runner. Click. So 1-1 the count with 1 down. Benitez. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Change up. 1-2. Benitez so far through 3 1/3. He's thrown an economical 42 pitches up to this point. He's given up 3 runs on 7 hits with a walk and a strikeout. He was helped out by some relatively easy outs early. 1-2 the pitch on the way from Benitez. Misses down low, ball 2, 2-2. The defenders have 8 base hits, 4 of them extra base hits. Northwestern, a couple of doubles in their 7 base hits. So we've had a fair amount of offense already in this one. Here's the pitch. Just misses, and that one's going to skip away from Sanchez. And it looked like Sanchez got crossed up on it. And that one skips in the dirt right around the plate, so that's going to go as a wild pitch, I think. Runners advance, and the count is full to Dirks. Drew Dykstra waits in the on-deck circle. Beg your pardon. Only the runner on third advanced. Runner on second caught sleeping. Beg your pardon. Runner on first caught sleeping. Pitch misses outside, and the walk is issued. Back-to-back bases on balls given up by Diego Benitez, and this is how you get yourself in trouble. Coach Nathan Bacon's going to come out of the dugout, talk things over with his pitcher, Diego Benitez. 1 out in the inning. I would be surprised if he's lifted here, but we'll see. And Ethan Buckner back in now to run for Dirks over at first base. So you have that re-entry there. Bases are jammed full of Northwestern players. Northwestern, I talked about those. Seems like the two teams playing with their color rushes for top. Bright yellow for the defenders, bright red for the Northwestern Red Raiders. And Benitez will stay in. Party at the mound broken up. And the defenders still with a 6-3 lead. Drew Dykstra, the batter. Dordt trying to get out of the inning without any more damage being done, or without any damage being done for that matter. So 1-0 the count with 1 out. Here's the pitch inside, ball 2, 2-0, and Diego now struggling with his control a little bit here. So 2-0 the count, and Dykstra has worked himself into a hitter's count. Here's the pitch. That's in for a called strike. 2-1 the count. Fastball on the inside half of the plate. So 2-1. Swung on, ground ball, foul ball over on the first base dugout. And the count goes even at 2-2. 2-2 the count with 1 out. And from the windup is Benitez. Here's the pitch. Checked his swing. Did he go around? They won't even appeal. Count goes full, 3-2. My gut reaction was he didn't commit to it. So the count now full, 3-2. Here's the pitch, and that hit the batter. And the run will come in to score on the play. So Drew Dykstra hit by the pitch. And everybody advances 90 feet, and bases are still loaded for the top of the order for Northwestern, and Northwestern back to within 2 at 6-4. Now a base hit ties the game. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Well, it was an uneventful second and third inning, really. Second inning was 1, 2, 3. Third inning, maybe some signs of some challenges with a couple of base hits for Olson and Vogel, but it ended up being a 1, 2, 3 with a couple of base hits. So one out of the inning, and Sam Stanford will come to the plate. And Stanford started the game lacing a double to left center. Here's the pitch, swung on, chopper, foul, strike one, 0-1 the count. So 0-1 the count with one out. Double play ball here is huge. Fly ball right side, that one's going to get pushed out of play. We got a little more sunshine, but it feels or looks like we might have a little more wind as well. Looks like our camera crews today decked out in winter garb. They've learned. 0-2 the count with one out. And Diego from the pitch stretch throws home to get one. Sanchez over to first. Got him. 1, 2, 3, the twin killing. And Sam Stanford grounds into the double play, back to the pitcher. And the side is retired. So Dordt sidesteps trouble. One run does score in the inning. One run on one hit. There were a couple of bases on balls and hit batsmen. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Our score, Dordt 6, Northwestern 4. Due up for the defenders. It'll be Stanley, Kerrigan, DeVries when we're back in a minute.
This Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast is brought to you by Joyner and Zwart Dentistry in Orange City, offering dentures, implants, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere.
And sponsored by Sioux Center Health Therapy, partnering with Dordt University to provide quality care to all athletes. Sioux Center Health Therapy.
When you add up all the Wi-Fi connected devices in your home these days, you'll be surprised at how many there are and how much bandwidth they're using. Do the math. It just may add up to needing faster Wi-Fi. Premier Communications has you covered with reliable internet speeds up to 1 gig. Keep everything connected with Premier Communications. Visit us online at mypremieronline.com or call at 1-800-741-8351. Premier Communications. Looking ahead.
We head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Brad Tornow will come on in relief for Northwestern. And he relieves Brett Shelton. We'll get you the final line on Shelton. That one's off of the hands of Stanley and scooped up by Cullinan for the out. Stanley retired 3 unassisted for the first out of the inning. Brings Jason Carrig to the plate. So for Shelton, he goes 3 innings. He gives up 6 runs, 5 of them earned, walks 2, strikes out 4, through 79 pitches. And he can be involved in the decision by taking a loss. Right now, Dordt leading 6-4. First pitch to Carrig is a ball, 1-0 the count. With one down in the inning. Here's the pitch from Tornow. And that one's outside, ball 2-0. Tornow, a left-hander, 1-1 this season, 15 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, has an ERA of 9.98. Here's the pitch. That's in for a called strike. It's 2-1. This is his 11th appearance. He's all but one of those appearances have been in relief. Here's the pitch. Strike 2, 2-2 the count. I'm guessing he probably got a start in spring break or something like that. It's typically where you get stretched a little more thin on your pitching. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on off of the hands and punched foul. Third base dugout. Strike 2, 2-2 the count with 1 out. Last year when these two teams played, it was over in Orange City. Actually ended up getting bumped up, I believe, to Thursday, Friday. Saturday's forecast wasn't good. This one lifted in the air, drifting towards the left fielder, Vogel. He trots over, makes the play. Off of the bat, looked like Drew Dykstra, the center fielder, might have a play on it, but ends up slicing towards Vogel up in the air for the second out of the inning. Brings DeVries to the plate. Remember, one of the days last year, I think it was Thursday, it started off beautiful. Then it got cold and windy. Then Friday, I just remember it being overcast. Don't remember much more about that day than that. Honestly, they all blend together after a while. 1-0 pitch on the way. Upstairs, ball 2, 2-0. Well, the Dordt baseball team had a stretch. Right now in a stretch where just haven't always gotten the timely hits, but today they have. DeVries takes a strike. It's 2-1. Two and 1 the count with 2 down. Well, I told you about softball. We've talked about that pitch is outside to DeVries. Ball 3, 3-1. DeVries in his last at bat struck out. He actually struck out a couple of times. Talked about softball. We've talked about track and field at Drake. All those records falling. Pitches upstairs. Ball 4 and the walk is issued. So Tornow issues the free pass. The first base on balls given up by him. Brings Caden Davis to the plate. Golf, Freddie Bullock won the Great Plains Athletic Conference Championship this past Monday and Tuesday, winning in a playoff after it was tied at the end of regulation. 36 holes on Monday, 18 on Tuesday. Pitches down the chute, strike 1, 1-0 and 1 the count. Interesting round, and we posted the interview that I had earlier this week with Freddie on our Defender Discussions, our podcast. So really appreciate Freddie taking about 15. I actually sat and visited with him for about a half hour when it was all said and done. Strike 2, 0 and 2 the count. But we talked about what his emotions were. He actually hit an eagle, I believe, on the 10th or 11th, and that changed things. Cut 2 strokes off of, while he was in the midst of that chase. Got an eagle. Pitch skipped, and nice job that time by Colby Shelton smothering it. Ball 1, 1-2 the count. And he talked about having to control his emotions for the rest of that round, and actually said didn't feel so great about how he responded at a bogey later in that round. And actually, when he stopped play, that pitch taken for a ball, 2-2. Caden Davis looking like he almost tried to get hit by the pitch. Deuces are wild, 2-2 count, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, but Bullock was down a couple of strokes when he finished up play. That one's fouled off. 2-2. He was down a couple of strokes and had to sit and watch the scores come in for about 90 minutes. And slowly but surely, the two leaders came back to him. Swung on and foul tipped right into the mitt of Colby Shelton and Caden Davis. Strikeout victim number 1 for Brad Tornow, out number 3 of the inning. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We'll continue talking about Freddie Bullock in the Great Plains Athletic Conference Men's Golf Championship. And we'll get to the top of the 5th inning right after this. You're watching Dordt Baseball on the Dordt Media Network.
American State Bank is celebrating our 50th anniversary, and we couldn't have made it this far without your support. For us, banking just scratches the surface. We pride ourselves in our commitment to our communities, building meaningful relationships with our customers, and doing our best to have some fun along the way. We're proud to be a locally owned and operated bank, supporting the communities we serve. Thank you for choosing American State Bank. We can't wait to see what the next 50 years have in store.
Six to 4 hour score. We head to the top of the fifth inning, and for Northwestern, it's Olson, Cullinan, and Vogel. Dordt leading 6-4. Diego Benitez. First pitch is a strike, 0-1 the count to Olson. Olson, a couple of singles so far today. He was part of a double play. Ground ball past to diving Carrig into center field, and Olson with his third base hit of the afternoon already. And he's on with the leadoff single, and the tying run is at the plate in the form of Kip Cullinan. So Cullinan will bat here with Dordt leading 6-4. So Freddie Bullock, we were talking about Great Plains Athletic Conference men's golf. After about 90 minutes, the two leaders, a golfer from Doane, golfer from Northwestern, unable to maintain their pace, and they end up tying. And in Freddie's words, he said, "I'm sitting in the clubhouse. I've basically processed the round that he played." 1-0 pitch on the way. Misses outside, ball 2-0. And he said, well, as the other golfers got on to 18, he said this is going to come down to the putt on 18. Or he said we're going to playoffs, so he said I went back to the vehicle, grabbed my club, started to loosen up and tried to focus. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled back to the net. Strike one, 2-1. And when it was all said and done, he went into the playoff, three-way playoff, and sudden victory. And he said the first two golfers, one missed the fairway, the other was there, but Freddie knocked one straight down the chute, put the pressure on, and had a birdie putt to win it. Swung on, hit in the air center field right at Caden Davis. Davis is under it, makes the play. And Cullinan is retired for the first out of the inning. Brings Noah Vogel to the plate, and Freddie Bullock was able to knock in that putt for par, and off to nationals he goes. He's the first Dordt men's golfer as an individual to qualify for the NAI Nationals. Back in the 90s, one of the teams made it as a team. Late in Abe Boss's tenure as head coach. Here's the pitch. That's a ball, 1-0 the count. Top 10 finishers, previous best finish by a men's golfer at Dordt as well. Third place, that was Jared Rempel. The hockey/golfer from British Columbia, I believe, Chilliwack. He's in the golfing profession now as well. I believe he's a club pro out on the West Coast in Canada. Swung on, ground ball. DeVries gets a Sunday hop. Throws it over to Carrick for one. On to first, not in time. And the ball skips into the dugout. So Vogel hits it to the second baseman. He reaches first on the fielder's choice, but then advances to second on the throwing error, charged to the shortstop. And that's Olson is retired 4-6 for the second out of the inning, and brings Mason Porup to the plate. I think I got all that scoring correct. 2 down in the inning. Sometimes it helps just to slow yourself down and talk through it. 2 outs in the frame. First pitch is in for a called strike. 0-1 the count. And you can go to the podcast and you can listen to that interview with Freddie Bullock if you want, but I just found it really interesting to talk to him about, the journey for him, and this being the culmination of his Dordt golfing career up to this point. He alludes to the fact that maybe he'll come back next year, maybe he won't. He's got to decide that yet. He does have a 5th year of eligibility remaining if he wishes, but there's a lot of factors that go into that decision, so he's going to go. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that just misses. Ball 2, 2-1 the count to Porup. Porup, a ground out, and he was hit by a pitch. 0-1, 0 for 1 today. Two and 1 the count with 2 down. And here's the pitch. In there for a called strike. It's 2-2. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Dordt leading 6-4. So 2-2 pitch with 2 down. And here it is from Diego Benitez, and he reaches back, gets the strikeout, and gets out of the inning. For Northwestern, no runs, a hit, 1 error, and they strand a base runner. For Benitez, that is strikeout number 2, out number 3 of the inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Due up for the defenders, it'll be Reskis, Hogestagger, and Harris when we're back in 1 minute.
This Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast is brought to you by Joyner & Zwart Dentistry in Orange City, offering dentures, implants, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
Six to 4 our score. Drew Reskis is the batter. Drew swinging a hot bat today. 2 for 2, a single and a double. Goes after that one up around the letters. Can't catch up with it. Too high to catch up with. Too good looking to lay off of. Nothing in 1 the count with nobody out. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit in the air. Left side. That one's going to push out of play. Strike 2, nothing in 2 the count. Well, if you care, tomorrow I'll be on the softball broadcast. Stefan Sawtell will be on the baseball broadcast. Swung on and fouled off. Down the line, strike 2, nothing in 2 the count. Matt Boss is in Des Moines, actually, this weekend at the Blue Oval, the Drake Relays. And if you love track and field the way he does, don't think there'd be anywhere else he would like to be. Pitches down to the dirt ball, 1-2 the count. He's going to be living the best life next weekend as the Great Plains Athletic Conference Championship hosted by Dordt. And 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That one's hit. Jammed him a little bit. Left fielder Noah Vogel. Vogel under it. Makes the play for the first out of the inning. So Reskis retired for the first time today. Ethan Hogestagger 0 for 2 so far today with a strikeout and a line out. So GPAC Championship coming up next weekend for track and field. And as I said, this is where I know my limitations. I'm going to back out and turn over the primary broadcasting responsibilities to Matt, and he's going to handle the main live stream. I'm going to fill in the gaps on the second live stream, focusing mainly on the jumps and the pole vault. 0-1 the count. Pitch is up on the outside corner, strike 2, nothing in 2 the count. And we'll also get some of the highlights of the throws up on our live stream as well. Nothing in 2 the count. Just want to talk pitches upstairs. Ball 1, 1-2. The Dordt Media Network students Rich Lodewijk, who directs them. They're going to get stretched next weekend, but it should be a lot of fun, that outdoor championship. We'll see what we can do with it. 1-2 the count. This one's driven in the air, right field, and a little bit too much wind, and Mason Porep. Off of the bat, I thought it might have some legs. It did not, and Ethan Hogesteger is retired on the fly out to right for out number 2. And that'll bring Logan Harris to the plate. And Logan Harris, his last at bat, I'm not sure that ball has come down yet. He drove it into the evergreens over near the light standard, nearest the left field corner. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, strike 1, 0-1 the count. And do I bring this up or not? That's the question. Do I say that he needs a triple for the cycle? Well, he needs a triple for the cycle, and it's been a little while since a defender did that. Colton Vanotterloo did it early his senior season. That was on the road, and that was the last time a Dordt player has done it. Prior to that, baseball fans, you're going to like this name. Pitch is in there, swung on and missed, strike 2, 1-2 the count. DJ LeMahieu's dad played for the Dordt Defenders back in the early 70s, Tom. And Tom hit for the cycle. Those are the 2 on record that I'm aware of that have hit for the cycle in Dordt baseball history. 1-2 the count with 2 down. DJ LeMahieu now with the New York Yankees. Played his collegiate ball at LSU. And Tom graduated from Dordt back in the 70s. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way with 2 down. And pitches, misses outside, ball 2, 2-2 the count. Just to give you an idea, the people you run into in this profession, one day I got a call from the New York Yankees organization saying, hey, they were doing something special for Father's Day, and they were looking for a picture of Tom for their publication. And that pitch is in for a called strike 3, and Logan Harris goes down looking. That is strikeout number 2 for Brad Torno, and out number 3 of the inning. And the side is retired. For the first time today, Dordt retired in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We'll tell you more about that Father's Day conversation with the Yankees organization. Right after this, you're listening and watching Dordt Baseball on the Dordt Media Network.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And today's broadcast sponsored by Ployne Publishing. Quality printing from design to delivery.
So 6-4, we're in the top of the 6th inning now. This one hit in the air right side, and Nolan Christensen chasing it, unable to get it, and that's going to be trouble. Extra bases for Colby Shelton. Christensen gave it a chase over near the right field line, but Shelton able to get the double as Christensen gave it a go, and we have a pinch runner now for Colby Shelton. So that's Click and Shelton the catcher, so the re-entry rule's not in effect. You can bring that runner in and out at your discretion when the catcher is on base. Jacob Kindhart, the batter. And here's the pitch on the way from Benitez. misses. Ball 1-0 the count. So back to, we were talking about hitting for the cycle at Dordt, and one of those being Tom LeMahieu, who DJ LeMahieu's dad, and he plays for the Yankees now. Here's the pitch, and out of the blue, got an email from the Yankees organization. It was this time of the year, actually a little later. They were doing a Father's Day promotion and looking for some photos, and went back, dug through some yearbooks, found photos, some team photos, and sent those on, and ended up getting used in Yankee publications for that Father's Day. As a lifelong Twins fan, it broke my heart to do so, but happy to provide that. You never know who's going to be calling or emailing on looking for information. Swung on ground ball, chopper, and it's picked up by the first baseman, Oreskes. Steps on the bag. Click advances over to third. Kindheart is retired unassisted. In effect, the same as a sacrifice. Pushes it on the right side. We're going to have a pinch hitter now for Ethan Buckner. So we'll have a pinch hitter, and that means Northwestern will have a new shortstop as well, and not sure if that will be the pinch hitter, Eli Rash, or someone else will come in. And I am told it likely will be Rash. So Brian Weedy going to the bench early and often, and mid-game on and often. Northwestern down a couple of runs, 6-4, but threatening with Eli Rash at the plate. Diego Benitez trying to keep this one where it's at. Pitch misses up high, ball 1-1 the count. Rash this season, well, he's played in 36 games now, started 19 of them. Got a .229 batting average. Swing and a miss, strike two, 1-2 the count. Capable. 1-2 the count with one out. Diego Benitez. He had a good outing earlier in the last week as well. Against Mount Marty. Actually got the start. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit in the air, right side, and drifting to the foul line. Oreskes giving chase. He's in trouble and runs out of room over at near the first base dugout, and he's not going to get any help over there in the enemy territory. And Oreskes, that one was up in the wind, and a regular day, he probably makes that play over near the first base coach's box. Instead, that ball pushed over near the dugout, and you start worrying about where you're at and running into the fencing over there. So 1-2 the count. It's Oreskes unable to reel it in. Here's the pitch. Low. Ball 2-2. So Rash batting with a runner on third base. Now a fly ball to the outfield likely scores the runner. Click. Here's the pitch. Swung on and ripped. Backhanded by Hogestadger. Throws across the diamond. Gets the out and the run has to hold. So Click unable to advance. Hogestadger stabs it. Gets up from his belly, throws over to first base in time. 5-3 for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring Drew Dykstra to the plate. So Dykstra batting. Two down in the inning. Six to 4 hour score. Here's the pitch. And the pitch misses outside. Ball 1-1 the count. So 1-1 the count with two down. Runner on third base is Click. And here's the pitch. And blocked by Sanchez, keeping it close. Well, would love for the defenders to maintain this multi-run lead. 2 runs is so much different than 1. 2-1 the count with 2 down. 6 to 4 hour score. Here's the pitch. That's in for a called strike. 2-2. And Every time Diego, it seems, has needed a strike in the latter innings, he's been able to get one. Here's the pitch up high, and the walk is issued. So the walk is issued. I was going to say. Did you have 2-2 as well?
That's what I.
You had 2-2. Scoreboard had 2-2, but nobody's asking. Nobody's at the. Well, this is where we do some little bit of investigating. We'll go back to the live stream. That's the best we can do, and I don't think anybody's asking. Nathan Bacon hasn't asked. Diego Benitez is going to check out of the ball game, and in the meantime, I'm going to say that everything is squared, and we will have a pitching change. Chaz Gothard will come in with runners at first and third and 2 outs. Top of the order due up for Northwestern. When we're back after 1 minute, this is Dordt Baseball on the Dordt Media Network.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Northside Body Shop. When you expect the very best in the repair of your vehicle, call Northside Body Shop Limited today, serving the Sioux Center area since 1955. 712-722-2313.
So Chaz Gothard is on in relief for the defenders. Runners at first and third for Northwestern as they threaten. And Diego Benitez, we can't close the book on him yet. His responsibility is both base runners. So the best he can hope for is we get out of the inning with Dordt still leading, and he's in line to win it. 2 down in the inning. Sam Stanford, the batter. Gothard, the left-hander. And Chaz throws over to first, not in time. More of a token throw, just keeping that tying run a little bit closer over there. Gothard this season, 17th appearance. He started 4 games. And here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, driven in the air, left field, and hooking foul. Strike 1. Nothing and 1 the count. Chaz this season, an 8.78 earned run average, 40 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts. Third on the team in that category to Jungju Kim with 107 and Nick Yeager with 74. 0-1 pitch on the way to Stanford, and they've got the runner at, well, they throw it over to first base. The runner breaks, hoping to potentially get in a rundown, and Dykstra is going to end up with a stolen base as Oreskes refuses to throw it around. Click holds at third, so the force is off, and the tying run is now at second base. Nothing and 1 the count. Here's the pitch, and swung on and missed. Strike 2, nothing and 2 the count. Well, Gothard can work his way out of trouble here. 0-2 the count. Swung on, ground ball, Carrig charging. His throw over to first base in time, and Oreskes on the receiving end of it, and Sam Stanford is retired 6-3, and the defenders get out of the inning without any damage. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a couple of base runners stranded in scoring position for Northwestern. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Nolan Christensen, Juan Sanchez, and Dylan Stanley due up for the defenders when we're back in a minute.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
Nolan Christensen comes to the plate with the defenders leading 6-4 as Dordt sidesteps trouble. In the top of the 6th inning, Chaz Gothard comes in and gets out of the jam. Nolan Christensen, 3 for 3 so far today with a single and 2 doubles. Couple of RBI as well and a run scored. Torno as the pitcher, and Torno ahead in the count, 0-2 as Christensen watches that one for a strike. 0-2 the count with nobody out. Third base coach's box occupied by Ian Eshelman, assistant coach. Ground ball scooped up by the shortstop Rash, and he misses it. Christensen is on with an error. So Christensen reaches on the error, charged to Rash. Northwestern with 3 errors so far today. And quite honestly, that is not something I normally focus on as I do prep work, is taking a look at, I know Dordt's fielding percentage. It's been right around .930 most of the way. Bunt is popped into the air, and Northwestern gets out of the trouble initially. This trouble, as the Christensen was leaning the wrong way and he's retired. So a pop out to the pitcher, and then Christensen leaning the wrong way, caught at first base for out number 2. It goes 1-3, so Torno helping himself. First pitch is a strike. Juan Sanchez retired on that bunt attempt for the first out of the inning. So now 2 down and the base is empty. Dylan Stanley batting in. Stanley drops one into right field for a 2-out single. His first base hit of the day.
Now batting, number 1, Jason Carrig.
And brings Carrig to the plate. And we'll have a pinch runner for Stanley. Coming on to run for the defenders will be number 28, Bennett Spronk. So Bennett Spronk in as the pinch runner. And in all likelihood, he would have been the courtesy runner for Sanchez, but because Sanchez retired, Dordt will now go to Spronk as the pinch runner. Would have had to think things through a little bit more if Spronk was on, but he's not. So good speed on the base paths. That one's fouled off by Carrig. Strike 1, 0-1 the count with 2 down. Northwestern 3 runs in the first, another in the 4th. Diego Benitez Went 5 2/3 for the defenders. And here's the pitch, up high and tight to Carrick. Ball 1-1 the count. So 1-1 with 2 down. I don't know what else I have to tell you about Dordt athletics right now. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Carrick fouls it off. Strike 2, 1-2 the count. Hey, Scholar Athlete honors for men's volleyball, as the defenders had 11. That list pretty impressive. The most in the NAI in terms of men's volleyball. Dordt with 11 representatives. Congratulations to Chad Hansen and his team. Record-setting year, and then following that up with a significant number of Scholar athletes named by the NAI. Carrick goes the opposite way with it as the shortstop, Rash, was shifted over to second, more towards second base. And Carrick reaches with an infield single. So runners on first and second for Logan DeVries. He walked in his last at bat. So DeVries, right-hander, awaiting the delivery with Dordt leading 6-4. Base hit here is huge. First pitch is up high, ball 1, 1-0 the count. So many little things go into a baseball game when it's all said and done. And do you get one? Do you get a base hit here? 1-0 the count with 2 down. Carrick at first, swung on and fouled off. Strike 1, 1-1 the count. Brad Torno, the left-hander, he came on in relief. He is in relief of Shelton. He's worked 2 2/3 innings. He's given up no runs on 2 hits. He's been effective here in relief with 2 strikeouts and a base on balls. Swung on, hit high in the air, drifting towards the netting and out of play, and the count is now 1-2. 1-2 the count. One and two the count with 2 down. So runners at first and second. Here's the pitch up high and away. Ball 2, 2-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dordt has led since the 2nd when they took a 4-3 lead, added 2 for insurance in the 3rd. 2-2 pitch on the way. Torno's pitch and dribbled foul left side. Count remains 2-2. We'll play a 9-inning game on the back end of this twin bill. And then tomorrow we'll start it up again at 1 o'clock with a 7-inning game to start and a 9-inning game to close. Dordt seniors will be recognized as well. Swung on, driven in the air, center field. That one's up into the jet stream, blowing the wrong way though. And the center fielder, Dykstra, is on to make the play, and DeVries is retired on the routine fly out to center for the 3rd out of the inning. For the defenders, no runs, 2 hits. They both came with 2 down. And we go to the top of the 7th inning. Dordt holding on to a 6-4 lead. Chaz Gothard on to try and close it out. It'll be Olson, Cullinan, and Vogel when we're back in a minute. This is the Dordt Media Network.
The spiritual climate and the community itself is strong. And Dordt remains unapologetically Christian in their mission. And we certainly believe for our kids, the best fit is an institution that believes that every square inch, every aspect of your life comes under the lordship of God. And we can see that woven into the classes that our kids have taken, the athletic teams that they've been part of, the music that they've been part of. It's just all a culture that we appreciate and love so much.
Chaz Gothard on the mound to try and close things out for the defenders in relief of Diego Benitez. Diego, his final line, 5 2/3, 4 runs, all of them earned, 9 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch, and that's low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Evan Olson. Olson, 3 for 3 so far for the Raiders. 2 singles, make that 3 singles, beg your pardon. Here's the pitch, breaking ball in there for a called strike, 1-1. Well, if you're Northwestern, you got the batters up that you want there. Olson, Cullinan, and Vogel. Here's the pitch from Gothard. Misses down low and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Gothard this season, 2 saves. Trying to work for his 3rd here. 2-1 pitch on the way. Outside corner, strike 2, 2-2. Oh, it's almost an unhittable pitch. 2-2 pitch. Let's see if Gothard can hit that spot again. 2-2, here it is. Swung on, ground ball off of the glove of Gothard. That's going to go as an infield single. Evan Olson reaches on the infield single. All things considered, and we have the benefit of hindsight. If Gothard doesn't knock that one away, I think it probably ends up in the glove of Logan DeVries, and a relatively easy play. As it is, the tying run is now at home plate in the form of Cullinan with nobody out. Well, the run that matters is the one that's in the batter's box now. Cullinan takes a strike, 0-1 the count. So while you want to be concerned with Olson, you don't want to let that affect your game plan too much. Pitch misses. Ball 1, 1-1 the count. Gothard this season, 40 innings pitched. Swung on, that one's off of the hands. Strike 2, 1-2 the count. Gothard has appeared in 17 games now, all pitching for the defenders. He started 4. So he's appeared in relief 13 times. 1-2 pitch on the way with nobody out. Double play ball here would be big. Gothard from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on off of the hands, and that one's going to drift out of play, and the count remains 1-2. Our game not quite 2 hours old. Gothard giving up an infield single to Evan Olson. Olson's 4th hit of the game. And here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and caught by the first baseman, and Oreskes will step on the bag for the second out as Olson nowhere to go. And Cullinan lines it right at the first baseman for the first out of the inning. Olson then retired, unassisted on the back end of the double play. And that'll bring Noah Vogel to the plate with the bases empty, and Dordt holding on to a 2-run lead. Gothard, first pitch misses. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. Well, we talked about in between innings how big the first out of the inning is. Well, you give up an infield single, but then you come back with a double play. And Drew Oreskes makes the play at first base and then steps on the bag for the out. 2 down in the inning, 1-1 pitch on the way to Noah Vogel. And that pitch down to the dirt, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Looks like the adrenaline might be pumping a little bit right now for Chaz Gothard. Throws a couple in the dirt in front of the plate. So 2-1 the count with 2 down. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Strike 2. And deuces are wild. Bases are empty. Noah Vogel reached on an error back in the 5th inning. And had a couple of singles as well. So he's 2 for 3 officially. So reached all 3 times. Chokes up, fouls that one off. He's just trying to get on base now, extend the inning. So 6-4 our score. 2-2 pitch on the way with 2 down. Dordt's defense playing straight up. Chaz Gothard, one strike away from the save. Here's the pitch, swung on, ground ball. DeVries fields it, clutches it, throws over to first base, and the defenders get the out. Noah Vogel retired without incident, 4-3 for the third out of the inning. And the defenders give up 3 in the first inning, but come back, outscore Northwestern 6-1 over the final 6.5, and Dordt wins it by a final of 6-4. Let's take a look at the line for the defenders. They get 6 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Northwestern 4 runs, 10 hits, and 3 errors. The defenders, Logan Harris, a triple away from the cycle, 3 for 4, 3 runs scored and 2 RBI, including a 2-run homer. Nolan Christensen, 3 for 4 with a run scored and 2 RBI. Drew Araskis, 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. And Dylan Stanley and Jason Carrig each had a hit apiece. For Northwestern, Olson ends up 4 for 4 at the plate, 4 singles, scored a run. Vogel and Shelton each had 2 hits. The defenders pitching, the win goes to Diego Benitez. He improves to 2-4 as he goes 5 2/3, gives up 4 runs, 9 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 3 walks. The loss goes to Brett Shelton. Shelton takes the loss. He's now 4-6. Chaz Gothard gets his 3rd save of the season. He goes an inning in the 3rd, gives up no runs on 1 hit. The Dordt defenders at this point now 17-26, 5-20. Northwestern 19-26 and 12-13. That will do it for the first game of our twin bill. We'll have the second game of the doubleheader coming up in about 20 to 30 minutes. We'll close things down and we'll restart things for game number 2 in a moment. This has been the Dordt Media Network.
You are watching the Dordt Media Network, a broadcast production produced by the students of Dordt University. Thank you for watching.